In the 1970s, a Stanford psychologist put a marshmallow in front of a 4-year-old, told the child they could eat it now or wait 15 minutes and get 2, then walked out of the room. The marshmallow test became one of the most cited experiments in all of psychology. For decades it was used to argue that the ability to delay gratification was the single most important predictor of life success. Then a 2018 study nearly dismantled the entire theory. This video covers what the research actually shows, what it got wrong, and whether the skill of waiting for the better outcome can genuinely be built. Stay to the end. The practical answer is less about willpower than most people assume, and more about something anyone can start changing today. The children who waited for 2 marshmallows were not necessarily stronger-willed. They may have simply trusted the adult would come back. What did the marshmallow experiment actually prove? Walter Mischel conducted the original delay of gratification studies at Stanford's Bing Nursery School in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Children between ages 3 and 6 were offered 1 marshmallow immediately or 2 if they could wait without eating the first one while the researcher left the room. Some children waited the full 15 minutes. Many did not. The follow-up data, published over subsequent decades, showed that children who waited longer tended to have higher SAT scores, lower body mass index, and stronger social functioning in adolescence and adulthood. The finding was striking. The media interpretation was immediate and confident. The ability to delay gratification in preschool predicted lifelong success. Self-control was the character trait that separated outcomes. The problem was that the original study drew from a specific pool, children at the Stanford campus nursery school, overwhelmingly from educated, middle and upper middle-class families. The sample was small. Follow-up studies tracked participants through social networks that amplified the original sampling bias. No one had asked whether the marshmallow weight was measuring self-control or something else entirely. The experiment also did not account for one variable that turns out to be critical: whether the child had prior reason to trust that the adult would actually return with a second marshmallow. Children who had been disappointed by adults in prior interactions, promised a reward that did not materialize, behaved rationally when they ate the marshmallow immediately. That was not impulsivity. That was calibrated decision-making based on available evidence. The experiment was real. What it was measuring was more complicated than anyone wanted to admit for nearly 5 decades. The challenge to the marshmallow theory came almost 50 years after the first study, and it changed the interpretation significantly. What happens when the marshmallow test is run on a much larger, more diverse group? In 2018, Tyler Watts, Greg Duncan, and Hao-Nan Kwon published a replication of the marshmallow study using a sample of over 900 children drawn from a nationally representative dataset. The results were substantially different from the original. For children from lower income backgrounds, the correlation between waiting for a second marshmallow and later life outcomes nearly disappeared once socioeconomic factors were controlled for. Children in more precarious home environments had rational reasons not to wait. Adults in those environments sometimes did not follow through on promises, and available resources sometimes did disappear. The child who ate the marshmallow immediately was not failing a test of character. They were making a reasonable decision based on the evidence their life had given them. This reframing matters enormously. The marshmallow weight was measuring, at least partly, how much a child trusted that the future would be reliable. That trust was shaped by the stability of their environment, not by some fixed internal character trait called willpower. Self-control is real, but it does not develop in isolation. It develops inside conditions, and conditions can be changed. The practical implication is that treating delay of gratification as a fixed ability, one you either have or lack, is both inaccurate and counterproductive. The more accurate frame is that the skill develops in response to reliable environments, consistent follow-through from trusted relationships, and the gradual accumulation of evidence that waiting pays off. The child who waited may not have had stronger willpower. They may simply have had more reason to believe the promise would be kept. If delay of gratification is shaped by environment and trust rather than innate character, that has very practical implications for how it can be developed. Can the ability to delay gratification be built? And if so, how? The short answer is yes, but not through what most people imagine when they think of building willpower. Roy Baumeister's ego depletion theory held that self-control draws on a limited mental resource that gets depleted through use. The idea that pushing through discomfort repeatedly strengthens willpower the way exercise strengthens a muscle is appealing, but the research backing it has faced serious replication challenges. White-knuckling through temptation is not a reliable training method. What the research more consistently supports is a different approach, managing the environment before the temptation arrives, rather than fighting it in the moment. The Ulysses contract is the classic formulation. In Homer's Odyssey, Ulysses knew he would be unable to resist the siren's call when his ship passed their island. He did not rely on willpower. He had himself lashed to the mast before they approached. The decision to resist was made before the temptation arrived, not during it. In practice, this means reducing friction for desired behaviors and increasing friction for undesired ones. Removing junk food from the house. Putting the phone in another room during focused work hours. Automating savings so money moves to a separate account before it can be spent. None of these strategies require the person to summon extraordinary mental strength in the moment. They require one good decision made in advance, when the temptation is not present and the decision environment is calm. This approach also sidesteps the exhaustion problem. Every act of active resistance costs cognitive resources. A system that removes the need for resistance is more durable than one that demands it continuously. The most effective delay of gratification is not a feat of mental strength. It is an act of design. There is one more element the research consistently highlights, and it is the most often left out of advice about discipline. What actually makes these strategies stick over time? The answer comes from implementation intention research, developed primarily by psychologist Peter Gallwitzer. The finding, replicated across hundreds of studies in multiple countries, is that a specific type of planning dramatically increases follow-through. Not goal setting, not, I want to exercise more, but if then planning. If it is Monday morning, then I go to the gym before checking email. The precision matters because it removes the need for a real-time decision. The brain encodes if-then plans differently from aspirational goals. When the cue appears, the response follows with far less deliberate effort than a willpower-based approach requires. The commitment was made once, in a calm moment. Execution, when the cue arrives, requires almost no active choice. Applied to gratification delay, this looks like, if a craving appears while working, the response is a 5-minute walk rather than a 5-second decision about whether to give in. If an impulse to make an unplanned purchase surfaces, the rule is waiting 24 hours before returning to it. Each shift moves the decision from a hot, temptation-loaded moment to a cooler, more values-aligned one. The children in the Marshmallow study who waited successfully used a related strategy without being taught it. They looked away, covered their eyes, sang to themselves, invented games. They did not stare at the marshmallow and resist it through sheer force. They made the marshmallow temporarily invisible, removing it from their attention until the time had passed. Delay of gratification is not about enduring temptation longer. It is about making the temptation harder to see. The marshmallow test was never really a test of character. It was a test of conditions. Children who believed their environment was reliable waited. Children who had reason to doubt it did not. The skill being measured was not fixed at birth. It was built or eroded by everything that happened before the researcher walked out of the room. Building that skill in adulthood works the same way. It means constructing conditions that make good decisions easy, not summoning extraordinary strength in the face of hard ones. The marshmallow is still there. The trick is not to look. If this changed how you think about discipline and willpower, subscribe for more. Like the video and share it with someone who thinks self-control is something you either have or you do not.